Hey everyone, Namaskar and welcome to Curries with Boombi. Today I will be showing you a very simple and easy mutton curry. I rarely cook mutton or lamb, but whenever I plan on cooking it, my husband and son insist on making it in this way. In my blender jar, I added garlic, ginger, about half of a small onion and a third of a cup of water. Whenever you use a blender for making ginger garlic paste, turn the blades a few times using the pulse function and then blend on a full swing on high. In that way, they get ground roughly first, and that initial rough chop helps in getting a smooth paste later. I took out the garlic ginger onion paste and then I pureed a tomato to a smooth paste. Next, coming to the meat. I used goat. You can also use lamb. Always use meat with bones as that brings in flavor to the curry. I added 2 heaped tablespoons of plain unflavored yogurt, half a teaspoon of turmeric powder, half a teaspoon of chilli powder, a fourth of a teaspoon of black pepper powder, 2 heaped tablespoons of the ginger garlic onion paste, and half a teaspoon of salt. Mix everything very well and marinate it for a minimum of 30 minutes to an hour. Now some of you ask me what cut of meat you should use. The place from where I buy lamb or goat meat, usually they have these pre-made packets which has a combination of meat from all the parts, I think. So I don't get to choose from which part. But from my initial experience, whenever my dad made mutton curry, he used to choose the front leg portion of goat, and according to him, that turns out to be really soft. Heat 4 tablespoons of oil in a heavy-bottomed pot or pan. Do not allow the oil to turn smoking hot. When you see the oil shimmering, in goes Mr. Potato. Cut the potatoes into large chunky pieces. I added a fourth of a teaspoon of turmeric powder. Now fry the potatoes on medium heat till they get this slightly golden brown color on them. Some of you know that I am from West Bengal, a region in the eastern part of India. This type of mutton curry is commonly made there, particularly on weekends, and only a Bengali can understand how important it is to add potatoes to this type of light mutton curry. If you're a Bengali and happen to be watching this video, please leave a comment regarding this, whether you use potato in a mutton curry like this or not. Now, if you do not like potatoes, then please leave them out. But please do not tell me that it destroys the flavor of the curry. I'm sorry, but I totally disagree on that point. Okay, once the potatoes become little golden brown, take them out into a bowl. Frying the potatoes a little bit prevents it from breaking. In the remaining oil, I added 2 dry bay leaves, 4 green cardamoms, and a small cinnamon stick. Stir the whole spices on low heat for a few seconds. This makes the oil fragrant. Then add thinly sliced onions. I added half a teaspoon of salt and fried the onions on medium-high heat. Fry the onions till they start getting brown, but please do not wait for them to turn too dark brown in color. When they look like this, add ginger garlic onion paste. Stir on medium heat for about 2 minutes. And then add the marinated mutton along with all the bowl goodness. Nothing should be left in the bowl, my friends. Give a brief stir, and then it is time to spice up the meat. Half a teaspoon of turmeric powder, 2 teaspoons of chilli powder, 2 teaspoons of ground coriander, and half a teaspoon of ground cumin. Then 2 teaspoons of salt goes in. Stir the meat on medium-high heat. I also added a teaspoon of sugar, which is totally optional, but it brings in a balance to the flavors. And no, my friend, that 1 teaspoon of sugar won't turn the curry into a mutton dessert. The mutton that I used didn't release a lot of liquid. If the meat that you are using releases a lot of liquid, stir on high heat till most of that liquid evaporates. After that, add the pureed tomato. Stir on medium-high heat till most of the liquid that is released further dries up. I felt the curry was looking a bit pale. Adding more of chili powder may make it too hot, so I added a teaspoon of sweet paprika. In this way, the curry won't get hot, but it will get that beautiful red color. When you see most of the liquid has almost dried up, add the fried potatoes. I added about 2.5 cups of water because my family likes it with gravy. Now I always make mutton or lamb curry using a pressure cooker or instant pot. You can also follow the same recipe and make it in a regular pot. In that case, from this point onwards, cover the pot and simmer on low heat till the meat gets tender. You may need to add more hot water if you see the gravy drying up before the meat gets tender. If making in a pressure cooker like me, allow the pressure to build up on high heat. Once it comes up to full pressure, lower the heat to low and set a timer for 35 minutes or 40 minutes if using an instant pot pressure cooker. If cooking in a regular pot, it may take way more than an hour for the meat to get tender. After 35 minutes of pressure cooking, switch off the heat and allow all the pressure to be released naturally. Open the lid of your cooker only when the pressure is released. And look at that. Before doing anything else, first remove the bay leaves and whatever whole spices you see floating on top. Do a taste test at this point and adjust the seasonings. Like add more salt if you feel it needs more, or add more chili powder if you feel you can handle more heat. Always add less chili powder, lesser than the stated proportion to start with. You can always add later if you feel, but once added, it is very difficult to get rid of that chili heat. I added a teaspoon of my homemade garam masala powder and finally a generous shower of cilantro, that is coriander leaves, which is totally optional. This tastes good the day it is made, but I feel it tastes even better the next day. And according to me, the potatoes taste better than the meat. I know, people will be disagreeing on this point, but that's how my taste buds tell me. This goes best with rice, but also tastes great with naan. Remember to discard all the whole spices before serving to avoid that unnecessary whole spice fuss at the table. So I hope you will give this recipe a try. It is delicious, comforting, and so easy to make. Bye bye.